I moved to Kuala Lumpur with a spreadsheet that promised me paradise for under $1,000 a month. I'd seen the YouTube videos, the glossy blog posts, a world of infinity pools, 10-cent satay sticks, and a life of affordable luxury. My calculator agreed. My bank account was hopeful. On paper, it was perfect. A seamless escape into a first-world lifestyle on a third-world budget. But you can't capture a city in a spreadsheet. It doesn't fit neatly into columns of projected expenses and anticipated joys. Kuala Lumpur, I quickly learned, is a city of beautiful, chaotic, and often contradictory truths. It's a place where you can feel like a king one moment and be humbled by a torrential downpour the next. Where a 10-minute journey can take an hour, and where the friendliest smiles can still leave you feeling like an outsider. My spreadsheet was logical. Life in KL is visceral. It's the humid air sticking to your skin, the symphony of languages on the street, the gut punch of unexpected kindness, and the slow burn of bureaucratic frustration. The affordable paradise I was promised? It exists, but it's not the whole story. Not even close. This is the unfiltered story of the incredible highs and the surprising, complicated lows of life in Malaysia's capital. This is the reality my spreadsheet could never have predicted. Let's start with the number one reason most of us have Kuala Lumpur on our radar: the cost. The internet is saturated with this idea that you can live an extravagant life for pennies. And it's not entirely a lie, but it is a masterclass in selective marketing. My expectation, fueled by countless online gurus, was to secure a beautiful, modern apartment, eat out for every meal, have a vibrant social life, and still see my savings account grow. All on a budget that would barely cover rent in a Western city. The reality? The cost of living in KL is less of a straightforward bargain, and more of a complex equation where your lifestyle choices are the most significant variable. Yes, Kuala Lumpur is affordable, often exceptionally so, but that affordable paradise narrative needs some serious asterisks. First, let's talk housing, everyone's biggest expense. The dream is a luxury condo in the city center with a rooftop pool overlooking the Petronas Towers, all for the price of a shoebox apartment back home. And you know what? It's possible. You can find stunning modern condos in popular expat-heavy neighborhoods like Mont Kiara, Bangsar, or near KLCC with all the amenities for a fraction of what they'd cost in Singapore or London. A one-bedroom apartment in the city center can range from 1,500 to 2,500 ringgit, which is roughly 350 to 580 US dollars. Sounds incredible, right? But here's the unfiltered part. That price gets you in the door, but the truly desirable units, the ones you see on Instagram, in the best managed buildings with the best views, command a premium. And while still cheaper than the West, it's not the dirt cheap price some might expect. Plus, these expat enclaves, while comfortable, can feel like gilded cages, insulating you from the very culture you moved here to experience. Of course, more affordable options exist further from the city center. You can find perfectly good housing for much less, but then you trade cost for convenience. Your commute gets longer, you'll rely more on a car or Grab, and you might find yourself in a neighborhood with fewer English speakers. It's a trade-off. The dream of a cheap, central, luxurious apartment is achievable, but you have to define what cheap and luxurious really mean to you. For a single person, monthly costs can hover around 20,600 ringgit, and that's excluding rent. That number shows that while KL is affordable, it's not a free-for-all. Now, let's talk about the second pillar of the KL affordability dream: food. This is where the hype is absolutely, unequivocally true. The food scene here is a miracle, one of the city's greatest triumphs. You can eat like royalty for just a few dollars. My breakfast is often a nasi lemak, the national dish of coconut rice, sambal, anchovies, and egg from a street-side stall, costing maybe 5 ringgit, just over $1. Lunch might be a magnificent banana leaf rice feast for 10 to 15 ringgit. Dinner could be at a bustling hawker center, where a full meal rarely costs more than $5 or 6. This is where KL's affordability truly shines. It's not just cheap, it's world-class cuisine at astounding prices. But, and there's always a but, this only holds true if you eat local. The moment you crave Western comforts, the equation changes dramatically. A simple block of imported cheddar can feel like a luxury purchase. A bottle of Australian wine will set you back far more than it would down under. Craving a proper sourdough loaf or a gourmet burger? Be prepared to pay prices on par with, or even higher than, what you'd pay back home. So yes, you can live cheaply on food as long as your meals are from a mamak stall, not a chic Italian bistro. Finally, there are the hidden costs. the ones spreadsheets never account for. Utilities are reasonable, but high-speed internet is an extra expense. While public transport is efficient, the last mile often means a grab ride, and those add up. Then there's the cost of visas, hefty rental deposits, and the constant temptation of affordable luxuries. Those $10 massages, cheap weekend flights to Bali, and world-class shopping malls, they're all part of the incredible lifestyle, but they're also drains on that sub-1,000 budget. So, the verdict on the dollars? Kuala Lumpur is an affordable city where you can enjoy a high quality of life for less. But the idea of it being an effortless paradise of low costs is a myth. It's a city that rewards smart choices and an embrace of the local palate. It's a complex dance between local bargains and international prices, and mastering that dance is the key to making the numbers work. The promise of Kuala Lumpur wasn't just financial, it was social. The city is touted as a major international hub, a melting pot of cultures, and one of the best cities for expats. I envisioned an instant social life, effortlessly mingling with fascinating people at rooftop bars and finding my tribe in trendy co-working spaces. The research backed this up. KL has an active expat scene with countless social groups. My expectation was essentially social plug and play. The reality, as always, is far more nuanced. Building a meaningful social life here is like navigating a labyrinth, full of promising paths, unexpected dead ends, and the constant need to keep moving forward, lest you find yourself completely alone. Let's start with the easy path. The expat bubble. It exists, it's massive, and it's incredibly easy to find. Head to any trendy cafe in Mont Kiara or a pub in Bangsar, and you'll be surrounded by people who look and sound like you. There are dozens of Facebook groups and organizations that are filled with expats eager to connect. In my first few weeks, this was a godsend. It was a comforting cushion against the initial shock of relocation. So, pro tip, making surface-level friends is incredibly easy here. However, the expat bubble has a dark side. It's transient. You quickly learn that the expat world is a revolving door. The close friend you make in January might have their contract end in June. It's a constant cycle of hellos and goodbyes, which can lead to a reluctance to get too close, a defense mechanism against the inevitable farewell. This was a surprising low, the potential for deep-seated loneliness in the middle of a bustling social scene. The second, more challenging path is breaking out of the bubble and forming genuine connections with locals. Malaysians are, by and large, incredibly friendly and polite. English is widely spoken, so language isn't usually a major barrier. But there's a big difference between friendliness and friendship. The social fabric here is woven from deep threads of family, school, and community. People often have established social circles that can be tough for an outsider to penetrate. It's not deliberate exclusion, it's just that their lives are already full. Getting invited to a local's home for a festival is a sign of incredible hospitality, but turning that into a casual, let's hang out next Tuesday friendship takes persistence and cultural understanding. You also have to navigate the beautiful complexity of Malaysia's multicultural society. Social norms within the Malay, Chinese, and Indian communities can be quite different. Learning these nuances is rewarding, but it takes time, effort, and a willingness to occasionally get it wrong. It's a far cry from the plug-and-play social life I had imagined. This leads to the most unfiltered truth of all. You can be very lonely in Kuala Lumpur. It's a city of millions, but its sheer scale can make you feel anonymous. This isn't just a KL problem, it's an expat problem, but it feels particularly sharp in a city that promises so much connection on the surface. So, how do you find your tribe? It's entirely possible, but it takes work. Embrace the expat bubble for immediate community, but be aware of its limits. Actively seek out connections with locals, showing genuine interest in their culture. Be proactive, join clubs, take classes, go to events. You can't just wait for a community to find you. You have to build it piece by piece. My expectation of an instant social life was naive. The reality is that building a true tribe here is a journey, not a destination. The online picture of daily life in Kuala Lumpur is one of sleek, modern efficiency. You see images of futuristic LRT trains gliding between skyscrapers and read about world-class infrastructure. The expectation is a seamless urban experience, a city that just works. The reality of the daily grind in KL is a jarring cocktail of incredible convenience and soul-crushing frustration. It's a city that operates on its own unique rhythm, a rhythm dictated by three powerful forces: traffic, heat, and bureaucracy. Let's start with transportation. The pro side is genuinely impressive. The public transport network, especially the MRT and LRT train systems, is modern, clean, air-conditioned, and cheap. You can cross huge swaths of the city for just a few ringgit. On top of that, Grab, the ride-hailing giant, is everywhere and affordable. On paper, it's a transportation utopia. But then you step out of the station and encounter the infamous last mile problem. The train gets you close, but rarely to your destination. That last kilometer often means a walk. And a walk in KL is a battle against oppressive, year-round heat and humidity that feels like a physical weight. You step outside and you're instantly sweating. The daily afternoon thunderstorms can turn a 5-minute walk into a drenched ordeal. You learn to carry an umbrella for both rain and sun. If you opt for a Grab for that last mile, you come face to face with KL's greatest monster, the traffic. It's not an exaggeration to say the traffic can be biblical. A journey that should take 15 minutes can easily stretch to an hour. You learn to schedule your life around it, checking Waze with the intensity of a military commander. The cost to your sanity and your time is even higher than the financial one. The second major pillar of the daily grind is bureaucracy. Malaysia is a country of rules and processes, and navigating them can feel like a game where the rulebook is written in invisible ink. Simple tasks like opening a bank account or dealing with immigration can be a masterclass in patience. You'll be sent to different counters, asked for photocopies of documents you didn't know you needed, and told to come back another day. There's a wonderful local phrase, Malaysia Boleh, which means Malaysia can. And it's true, things do get done, but they get done on their own timeline. The verdict on the daily grind? It's a constant exercise in adaptation. You learn to appreciate the efficient LRT while respecting the power of the traffic. You learn to love air conditioning and plan your day around the heat. You learn to embrace a slower pace for official matters. Expecting a hyper-efficient city like Singapore is a recipe for disappointment. The reality is, a city that is brilliantly modern in some ways and frustratingly traditional in others. Learning to flow with that rhythm is the key to survival and sanity. Navigating these daily challenges is a huge part of the real experience of living abroad. It's the kind of information I wish I had before I moved. If you're finding this unfiltered, ground-level perspective on life in Kuala Lumpur helpful, and if you're tired of the glossy, highlight reel versions of expat life, then do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm committed to sharing the real stories, the complex truths, and the practical advice that can help you on your own journey. And I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's the one thing that scares you or excites you the most about the prospect of moving to a new country? Let's talk about the real stuff. Strip away the spreadsheets and practicalities, and what truly defines life in a new city is the emotional landscape. My expectation for Kuala Lumpur was a steady, upward trajectory of happiness. The reality has been a wild roller coaster of paradise found and paradise lost. Moments of pure joy juxtaposed with deeply challenging lows. Let's start with paradise found, because the highs here are incredibly high. First and foremost, the food. I know I've mentioned it, but it deserves its own rhapsody. The food is the soul of the city, the cultural glue that binds this diverse nation. A perfect day in KL is a culinary pilgrimage. It's starting with a flaky roti canai dipped in dal at a local mamak stall. It's having a vibrant bowl of curry laksa for lunch that lights up every taste bud. The sheer diversity and affordability of world-class food is a constant source of joy. Second is the incredible tapestry of culture and the genuine warmth of the people. Witnessing the city transform for festivals like Hari Raya, Chinese New Year, and Deepavali is a profound experience. It's a living lesson in tolerance and celebration. Third is the gift of travel. Kuala Lumpur is a phenomenal hub for exploring Southeast Asia. The dream of weekend trips to the beaches of Thailand or the jungles of Borneo is an affordable reality thanks to low-cost airlines. This easy access to travel fundamentally changes your perspective and adds an immense sense of freedom to your life. And finally, there are the affordable luxuries. Living in a condo with a pool and gym becomes the norm. Getting a high-quality 1-hour massage for a pittance is a regular form of self-care. The excellent and affordable healthcare provides invaluable peace of mind. These are the moments you lean back and think, I could never live like this back home. But for every peak, there is a valley. This is where we find paradise lost. The most significant low is the seasonal haze. For several weeks or even months of the year, Smoke from regional forest fires can blanket the city in a thick, toxic smog. The air quality plummets, blue skies turn gray, and you're forced indoors. It's a grim, depressing period you have no control over. Then there is the persistent, low-grade feeling of being an outsider. No matter how much you integrate, you are and always will be an orang luar, an outsider. It manifests in small ways and can be an isolating feeling that prevents you from ever truly feeling at home. Like any major city, there are also safety concerns. While KL is generally safe, petty crimes like snatch theft and pickpocketing do exist. You learn to be vigilant, to hold your bag tightly, and to be wary of deals that seem too good to be true. It's not a uniquely KL problem, but being a potential target can wear you down. Ultimately, the biggest low is grappling with the city's inherent contradictions. It's a place that is at once deeply traditional and hyper-modern, incredibly convenient alongside maddening inefficiency. Living here is a constant mental and emotional adjustment. So, after all of this, the roller coaster of highs and lows, was moving to Kuala Lumpur worth it? Yes, absolutely, but not for the reasons my spreadsheet told me. I came to Kuala Lumpur for the promise of an easy, affordable paradise. I was lured by the numbers: low rent, cheap food, a luxurious lifestyle for less. And while those things are true to an extent, they are the least interesting parts of the story. The real value of living here, the unfiltered truth, lies not in its simplicity, but in its complexity. It was worth it not because the public transport is cheap, but because of the lesson in patience I learned stuck in a 2-hour traffic jam. It was worth it not just for the cheap nasi lemak, but for the conversations with the auntie who has sold it from the same stall for 30 years. It was worth it not for the ease of the expat bubble, but for the rewarding challenge of stepping outside it to connect with a culture so different from my own. Kuala Lumpur is not a simple escape. It's an immersive and at times demanding experience. It's for the curious, the patient, and the adaptable. It's for those who can find joy in a perfect bowl of noodles and grace in a bureaucratic delay. I came here looking for a cheaper version of my old life. What I found was a completely different life. One that has challenged me, frustrated me, and ultimately changed me in ways I never could have predicted. I came for the low cost of living, but I'm staying for the richness of life. And that is the unfiltered truth, Ed.